Welcome back to the Legacy Podcast. My name is Olisya Grant, co-founder of the Matrix Legacy. Here we are back for episode number 12. This is a show where we create a blueprint for success. We look for ways to create generational wealth, and we break those chains of a poverty mindset. So I took 2 weeks to have some incredible co-hosts on. I had my mother, I also had my husband, and just the insight and the knowledge and the wisdom that both of those individuals have. Everybody can find something to take away from the messages that they shared. So definitely go check that out if you haven't already. Now, in light of the fact that we are here at episode number 12, I felt like it was only fitting to talk about one of the main keys that I've learned over this personal development journey, entrepreneurial journey, in terms of what it takes to be a success. And that is consistency. Now, I'm sure we can all feel the intensity of this global pandemic is slowly starting to ease. We're coming out of the fog, and it's now in another session of reevaluation, where we really get to take a look at where we are, who we are, and decide what the next move is going to be. Now, during this time, people have taken up new projects, new businesses. I've seen beauty lines opened up, podcasts launched, merchandise lines opened up, network marketing businesses started. It's really beautiful to see. And the reason I feel like this is so necessary is because I want every single one of those projects to be successful. And the only reason that they won't be is that little thing called consistency. Everything is shiny and nice and beautiful when we first get started. It's exciting. It's easy to want to get up and keep going because you just started and you're just getting your feet wet. But once you've been in it for a little while and you're out there in the deep end and you've been treading water and you're trying to stay afloat, there's a point where we get exhausted and we might give up. And I've fallen into that trap numerous times. For example, my destiny, I was certain, was that I was going to be in music. I wanted to be a producer. I wanted to be a performer. That's what I wanted to do. And then at a certain point, I started seeing other people finding different levels of success and passion and drive that I just didn't have. And so kind of last minute, I decided to switch gears. But on that note, it's important to note that there is some times where we're trying new things and we just realize that it's not for us. Now, that's a whole different story and different category. If your heart's not in it, it doesn't feel right, then that just might not be for you. And that's absolutely okay. You put that on the back burner and you can go ahead and move on. But that's usually not the case. We live in a world where everything is so instant. Literally, as soon as I have a thought in my head of something I want to buy, hop on to Amazon, next day it's at my front door. But then when we get into our jobs and we don't find a promotion in 6 months, then it's the end of the world and we can't instantly receive our success. We can't get that instant gratification. And so we start looking at ourselves like, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I should go try something else because I've been at this for longer than I've been at anything in my life and I still haven't found success. Maybe it's not for me. You start a business and sales aren't popping off in the first year, then you start thinking maybe this isn't for me. But there's 5 things that I've noticed that have helped me through in terms of being consistent. And I want to share them with you because if you've started a project, if you have something in mind that you want to get started on, or if you're starting to hit a wall in whatever journey you're on right now, these are the 5 things that have genuinely helped me, are currently helping me stay consistent. Because if I'm being very honest, halfway through this day, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe we'll just film this another day. Maybe we can skip a week. Like those thoughts creep in. I'm human. We're all human and we get those thoughts and we hit those walls. And that's just us being scared of our own success. Anything great and worth having is going to take time and it's going to take effort. And so what I want to share is the 5 tips essentially that I've discovered that have been helping me through. The first one, and I've spoken about this before, is you have to get in touch with the reason why you're doing what you're doing. When you got that inspiration, that vision, that feeling in your gut that says, I need to take on this opportunity, what was the reason? What was the long-term vision that you had that allowed you to see real value and substance in the opportunity that was presented to you? So for example, when I started this podcast, the reason why is beyond me. I want to draw attention to the fact that wealth is a mindset. And if you're not finding wealth in your life, something is not aligned in your mind. Could be a choice that you're making, could be something that was imposed on you, but You have to master your mind in order to master your life. And you have to create wealth in the way that you think before it ever actually shows up in tangible form in your life. And I wanted to share that. And beyond that, when I just know that I cannot pass on a job to generations to come, but I can pass on content. And that reason why has me rooted in this journey that we're on together. But the first thing that you have to do is really sit down and write it out on paper. What's the reason why I would start this in the first place? And it can't just be for money, because there's a lot of things that we can do for money. Your reason why is what's going to pull you through. The second thing is, in order to be consistent with the things that you're building, with your project, your business, your idea, you got to schedule it in. You have to make it a priority. For example, if you're trying to write a book, you have to schedule in time every single day to go and contribute to that book, to the success of that journey that you've decided to take on. If it's, I want to be a social media influencer, then every single day you have to map out time where, okay, I'm going to stop scrolling, stop watching TV, stop binge watching. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take this time to really socialize with people and really plan out my content and really plan out how I'm going to get my message out there. That is something that you truly have to focus on. It's the little things that we do every single day, not the things that we do occasionally, or you have a week of working out 5 days a week and then the next 2 weeks you don't work out at all. And then you find a way to, okay, I'm going to work out 7 days a week this time, and then you fall off again for a few weeks. You will never find success that way. And you'll just burn yourself out, because every time you look in the mirror after your workout, you don't see any changes. So make sure that you're scheduling time to do the things that you say that you want to do, if it's real. The third thing, and this is what I'm actively learning right now, is we have to remove our emotions out of the equation. So for example, if you knew that episode number 67 of your YouTube channel, of your podcast, of your TV show was going to be the one that takes off, but you have to put the same effort in episodes 1 through to 66. If you knew that 67 was the one that was going to take off and change your entire life, how would you operate? You wouldn't even care. You would say, you know what? I need to get to 67. So let me go ahead. I'm going to put out quality content. I'm going to go learn some new things so I can add some more things to my resume. I'm going to keep pushing out information because I know all I need to do is get to 67. But what happens is, let's say you get to the point where you're at episode 25 and you only have 5 consistent viewers and you stopped right there, but you were guaranteed that 67 was going to be your break. That is the mentality that you have to have. There's an incredible book called Go for No. There's a great example in there that says, let's say we're playing a basketball game and you have your all-star player out there. He's hot, he's on fire, but his goal for the game was only to get to 20 points. So when he got to 15, 16 points, he started to slow down the momentum because he said, okay, well, my goal, my coach just told me I only need to get to 20 points. So that means we end up slowing our own potential and slowing our own growth because we're only looking for the wins. We're only looking for the points. But if he switched that mentality and said, I'm going to keep shooting until I miss 30 shots. If I shoot until I miss 30 shots, then those 20 points are going to happen regardless in the meantime, as long as I get up 30 shots. Our mind wants to protect us from feeling any type of pain. So the way that we justify things and the way that we think about things is, today's Monday, by Sunday, I need to make sure that I closed 5 deals. So if by Wednesday I already closed 4, well, then I'm going to slow down and I'm going to pump the brakes. But what if in that week I could have closed 20 deals? But because I decided I'm only going to go for 5 yeses, I stopped and I didn't actually see what my full potential was, because my emotions, my mind wants to make me feel good. But if I take my emotions out of it and I say, you know what, I'm going to keep making calls until 20 people tell me no. Well, then on the flip side of that, who knows how many yeses you're going to get in the middle of working towards your no's. We got to remove our emotions from what we're doing and just think, if number 100 is going to be my winner, that means I just need to put out 99 incredible calls, 99 incredible podcasts before number 100 takes off. And you just have to have that mentality and keep chipping away and keep putting, a drop in the bucket every single day and just keep going. The fourth one is to pick your battle. And notice there, I did say battle and not battles, because what happens too many times is we start picking up different things. I'm sure every single person listening to this knows that person who one day they're a hairstylist, and then the next day they're an artist, and then the following day they're a rapper, and then the next day they're a social media manager. What happened with that individual is they didn't pick their battle, and the grass always looked greener on the other side. And they're trying to do so many things that they never actually find success in one, because they keep jumping from thing to thing. And they will never find success that way, because they're continuously starting the momentum, stopping the momentum, jumping into something else, get it going a little, and then run over to the next thing. You have to pick your battle and say, I'm all in or I'm all out. Because I've seen people run on that hamster wheel their entire lives, chasing an idea and not actually chasing a purpose. And they're not actually connected to their why. They're just starting things because I want more money. But then the next opportunity offers a couple dollars more, so I'm off to the next. And so that's definitely something that you want to think about. What is your battle? What are you going to stand for? What do you want to be known for? And how are you going to pursue it every single day to make sure that you get there? Choose your battle, not your battles, okay? And then the last one is, you got to give yourself some slack, because if you're really chipping away and working at something, there are some days where you're going to be exhausted. There are some days where you're not going to be able to give it your all. And if you're too hard on yourself to the point where you're thinking, I missed one day, for example, let's say I'm trying to get fit. I've been working out every single day for the past 2 months. And you know what? Today I'm tired. I'm not feeling so good today. But you go so hard on yourself and you beat yourself down and you beat yourself up about it, and you feel terrible about the fact that you missed one day, that the next day you don't want to go either, because you just beat yourself into a pulp. And now mentally you can't take yourself to the gym. Sometimes you got to give yourself a little bit of slack. This is not a hall pass to procrastinate for months at a time and stop your momentum. 1 week you're on, 1 week you're off. That's not what it's about. There are times that we're going to fall off. We are human beings. You got to give yourself that rope to breathe once in a while, so that you still enjoy the journey that you're on, and it's not something that's overly taxing. Sometimes taking a step away, that doesn't mean going around the block to see what else is going on, but just taking a step away, taking a step back, taking a break, recalibrating, getting back in touch with the reason why you started in the first place will allow you to kick so much harder out of the gate, because you've taken that moment to reflect and rebuild yourself. So just to go over the 5 one more time, the first one is being in touch with your reason why. Why did you start this project? Why did you start the business? What is the reason? And it has to be beyond, I just need a couple more dollars. It has to be bigger than that, or else consistency is impossible, because there's always something that looks like it can make you a couple extra dollars. You have to get in touch with, why have I started? The second one is you have to schedule it. If you don't write it down, if you don't make it a priority, it's not going to happen. The third one is take your emotions out of it. Put it on the back burner, zone in, focus in on what you're doing, why you're doing it. And when that whiny little voice in your head says, I don't want to do it, you kick that voice in the butt. Tell it to take a hike, because you're on a mission and you got things to do, you got legacies to build. The fourth one is to pick your battle. Decide, what is the thing that I'm willing to go through pain, hell, and high water to make happen. Pick your battle. See it through. Consistently put something in place every single day, and you will get to where you're going. And the fifth one is to cut yourself some slack. You might miss a day. You might stumble here or there, but you cannot beat yourself up to the point where you're unable to continue, because you pushed yourself out of the way, or you pushed yourself too hard to the point where the journey is no longer enjoyable. So that's essentially the building block for the day. It's literally just that. Consistency is key. It's what you do every single day over an extended period of time that's going to produce the result that you want. And it's very hard in this life where everything is so instant. It feels like success is the only thing that's not instant. But success, whatever that looks like to you, is only enjoyable and fulfilling if you can find a way to enjoy the journey. Every single day you put 2 drops in the bucket until the bucket is full. That feeling is unlike any other. But that's only if you can find a way to truly enjoy the journey and truly know what the end goal is and visualize that and make it happen, and know every single day that I'm going through this, every single day that I'm clocking in and I'm putting in this work, it's for a bigger reason. And because it's for a bigger reason, every single day I'm enjoying finding new ways to better myself. I'm enjoying finding new ways to connect with people. I'm enjoying finding new ways to grow my business. And in the process, success is inevitable. It's guaranteed if you stick to it. I hope I'm speaking to the person who's on the fence right now. They're a couple weeks, a couple months into a new journey that they've taken on, and they're teetering on the edge of falling off. Tap into the reason why you started in the first place, and that will tell you if you should continue. So that's all I've got for the week, guys. If you found any value here, share it with a friend, like, comment, subscribe. It all helps more people receive the same message. I will be here next week with another building block for success. Until next time, let's build a legacy.